How we doing, my fine people? How are we on this fine day? I just wanted to say something different from Alright Dudes, Hayzink here. Welcome back to the channel for another Disgaea RPG video. But then I said it anyway, so whatevs. Dudes, today we're going to go on and talk about the next character in the trio. If you've seen my last video, you already know who this is, and I've probably got a massive thumbnail telling you anyway, so whatever. We're going to talk about human Asagi in a bit more detail. Yes, we have touched on it before in a video I did talking about are they overrated. Ultimately they're not. I mean, some people think overrated means bad. It doesn't. It doesn't. I mean, that's like, to me, overrated is eating a good cheeseburger, a really good cheeseburger, but declaring it's the best cheeseburger in existence. That's overrated. Something can still be amazing and you can overrate it. That's where I come from, okay? So anyway, I don't know why I talked about cheeseburgers. I mean, Asagi is more of a steak. I don't know if she's quite a filet mignon, but she might be a really good ribeye. Why am I talking about food? I must be hungry. Anyway, before we jump in and talk about today's video, if you haven't already, please consider liking the video, subbing to the channel, commenting down below, let me know your thoughts. Let me know how you like your steak cooked. I mean, I don't know why I'm talking about steak, but steak's now on my brain, so let me know how you have your steak. But yes, let's talk about human Asagi. You can see if you watch my last video, I am actually still running the same footage that I was already running. So I've just continued. I've stopped that video, I've hit record, and I've started this video. So yes, we're going to talk about human Asagi. Now, I really hope I've chosen a rare weapon or my gameplay is going to stop. I'm going to have to fix it. But yes, we are going to talk about human Asagi. Now, human Asagi is a character that I'm very fond of. I'm fond of her due to the fact that she has been in a lot of Disgaea games. As people know, she does show up a lot in the end game, and she's someone who has a running joke for quite some time that she is going to become the main character of her own game, and NIS never got round to making it. They were supposed to make her own game. It was going to be Makai Wars. And it was originally going to be a PSP game, and it never materialised. I don't know if that's because the PSP, I don't want to say it died, but it obviously stopped being developed for, and they'd moved on. I think for a while they talked about bringing out Makai Wars as a PS2 game, and then possibly a PS3 game, but it just never materialised until finally they did release Makai Wars as a gacha game, which sadly we do not have on global. If that ever happened to come to global, rest assured I would cover it on the channel, but as it stands, Asagi is the main character that never was, unless you include the gacha. So let's talk about her in more detail. The main character of Disgaea Wars, which is Makai Wars, in a world ruled by the Overlord, she fights to save the world from its overruling clutches. So, as we know by now, she is a human character. A lot of people call her Gunner Asagi, as you can see there, and she is a gun user. Surprise, surprise, she uses guns. Let's look at her skills. Her abilities, shall we say, not her skills. So, her leader skill, Resonating Heart. All members attacking HP plus 13%. So again, regardless if she's on a team with humans, regardless if she's on a team with monsters, she is going to give all members attacking HP plus 13%. Iron Brew, you need to sponsor me. Or anyone. First to win. Self. SP plus 10 when a turn begins. Now, first two abilities. People who watched the previous video on Asagi, Overlord Asagi, will notice that the first two abilities for these characters are very similar. Okay. Now, to me that's good because ultimately they're supposed to be the same character, just something's happened and Overlord Asagi has been corrupted or evolved, or I don't know. But anyway, moving on. Our NE5 is called Protagonist Privilege. Allows skills with consecutive use prohibited to be executed without limits. We'll get to that, but basically it's repeat skills. We'll get to that, okay? Her NE7 is Power of Bonds. All allies damage dealt plus 18% when all members are humanoids. So if she's on a team with all humans, not specific humans, not specific weapon types, just simply humans, she is going to get all damage dealt 18%, and she's going to apply that to all of her teammates, okay? So she's very good. In my opinion, she's very good. The reason I think she's very good is because you don't really need to build anything special. You don't need to have any magical team builds that you've come up with. She'll just slot into what you've got. Unlike Overlord Asagi, who has a little bit more thought that needs to go into her team building, just take your favourite team, remove your least favourite person, and stick Asagi in place, and you're good to go. So, moving on. We have... But what that does mean, though, is at her very best, she won't be on a team with Monster Asagi. So, I mean, that could possibly be a trade-off. The other two Asagis are monsters, so she can't go on a team with those guys if you want to get her absolute best. Now, moving on from her abilities, we will talk about her skills. And this is where her NE5 gets a bit more of a description, okay? So, Magic Bazooka. It's an AoE and it's a buff to the party. Mass Weapon of Destruction, thank you very much. Now, this has got that repeat prohibition technique, okay? Now, what that means is there's a 1 turn cooldown, okay? If you use it once, you need to wait a turn, then you can use it again, wait a turn, use it again. If you've got her to NE5, doesn't exist, you can just pop it turn after turn after turn. You would probably ask, why are they limiting use of that super attack? The reason being is it gives all party members plus 5% to all stats, okay? Later on with Kildea's training, this actually goes up, but we won't talk about Kildea's training for now. I'm just letting you know that that does increase. It goes to like 7%. But yes, all stats other than HP plus 5%. Our second one is a single target damage. It's C rank, so it's not the highest, but it's also not the lowest. Enjoy a trip around the world, defense down by 5%, speed down by 5%. So it gives you a good chance to weaken some characters, slow down some characters, and do a little bit of work behind the scenes, because Asagi can be boosting other characters. So you can have a boss killer on your team like Tyrant Balvatores, like Kildea. She's going to, not only in her first skill is she going to increase their stats, if you use her second skill, she's going to weaken the target that they're trying to kill, which is obviously really good for utility. I'd say that puts her in a really good class and makes her a really good character. Finally, at her NE3, we'll get Mighty Commando, which is an AoE attack again, and it's party buff. It's very similar to the first skill. The only difference is this time it's 8%. With Kildea's training, that goes up to 12%. But again, it's got that repeat prohibition technique on it. If you can get her to NE5, you don't have to worry about it. The cost of it is 31. Again, depending on your build, if you've got someone like an Awakened Rosalind on your team with this character, giving Awakened Rosalind's buff plus her own buff for SP, she can pop that round 1. So she can actually increase your characters right out off the bat and make them very strong. So I like her skills. I like her skills a lot. Again, I think I've explained to you guys before that ultimately she's my favourite. And it's just because I like to run humans more. I do have the whole Usalia setup waiting for her on Global for the Overlord one. But even with that said, I think I'll probably still run human Asagi more. For going for a design aesthetic, I can see the appeal of Overlord Asagi 100%, but from a gameplay perspective, for me, my sort of allegiance lies with human Asagi. So anyway, moving on. Speaking of that, I'm going to put out a little short quite soon, and I want you guys to pick whether it's human or team monster. I'd be interested to see the results. So anyway, next one, magic spells. You might build this character for magic spells. It really depends on, I don't know, what you're thinking, really. But she's got Cool, which is the magic of ice. Speed up, which obviously speeds up by up to 35%. Mega Cool, Mega Speed Up, can speed you up to 55%. Giga Cool and Omega Cool. Me personally, I'm not a massive fan of speed up magic. I'll explain why. Generally when I build my team, I've built them in a certain way for a certain reason, and I want characters to go when I've lined them up to go. So things like speed ups mess up my whole train of thought. I have characters doing what I want them to do, so I won't build her for spells. And it's mainly just because I don't really use that aspect. Some of you might, and fair play to you, more power to you if that's what you do. But that's it. I mean, I don't really know what more there is to say. That is Human Asagi in a nutshell. She's a very good character. She's the one that I want most. Obviously, I want both of them, but she's the one that I want most. Let me know in the comments down below, are you going to be summoning? Most of you are. Who do you want most? If you got one, would you be happy? Are you only going to be happy if you get two? What's your feelings? Let me know in the comments down below. But anyway, this has been the overview for Human Asagi. On the next video, I'm going to talk about the free-to-play character, the one that all of us are going to get, which is going to be game developer Asagi. So anyway, guys, I've been Hayzink. As always, like the video, subscribe to the channel, comment down below, let me know what you think. And again, how do you like your steak? See ya.